Hey guys, Shot the Monkey here. So, got a replay for you from one of Warships. This one was recorded after a replay from a random battle game that I had when I was playing on the EU server with a friend of mine. I was in Scharnhorst, he was platooned up with me in his New Orleans, and this is one of a couple of games that we played just because we had a bit of time open and yeah, decided to get some tier 7 game work in. He's grinding his New Orleans to try and get to his Baltimore, and I just pulled the Scharnhorst out because it's one of the tier 7 premiums that I absolutely adore that I have on the European account in question. And this is a battle win. So we're top tier, it's a tier 5 through 7 game. There is a tier 4 battleship on the enemy team. He's in a division with a Minikaze, and the Minikaze's unfortunately dragged him as a tier 4 up into this tier 7 match, so he's not in the best position. And we're moving up to the northern side of the map. We're going to cover A. You can see our team is fairly evenly split out. We've got 2 destroyers heading up towards A, we've got 1 destroyer heading between B and C, so it looks like we're going to try and contest the A-B capture points to begin with. The enemy team is already capturing both B and C. We have nothing to contest C especially, and B might not be contested in time. We've got myself and the Hood moving up to A, along with the Surrey and the New Orleans. Most of the enemy team seems to have split off between either A or C at the moment. We can only see a caravan of flint down towards the bottom end of the map, but considering that both B and C are being capped out and are going to be lost by our team to the enemy, it appears that most of their destroyer presence has gone down south. We've only seen a Hatsuhara so far coming towards A, which our Akatsuki has spotted and since disengaged from. So there we go, C and B have both gone to enemy team, and at the moment all I'm doing is just taking speculative long range shots at incoming ships that I can see that are heading to or around A. Got some fire coming in now from the, I believe the Nürnberg that's fired, that's behind the smoke of the enemy Hatsuharu. Put some nice shots into the Königsberg, but he's disappeared, so we don't see the damage being inflicted directly. But we can see in the top counter, first 5 hits of the game, 7,107 damage done to that tier 5 cruiser. Taking a bit of a passive position, not really wanting to rush straight in. Of course, the Scharnhorst lacks hydro, and knowing that there is a Hatsuharu in that in the smoke in the A capture point is not exactly enticing to me. Plus, if the Nürnberg is pushed up, he has torpedoes, so it's not an ideal situation for us. So at the moment we're just pulling back, putting some long range AP into the Denizer now. Nice hit there for just over 10,000 damage. One of the rarer accurate shots at long range. Not to say that this ship has poor long range dispersion, but it is a German battleship, so you know there always is that feature of it not being the most accurate at long range. Really just an exchange of fire so far. Our team is already down 2 ships to the enemy team. We've not killed anything yet. As you can see, C has been falling rapidly. The Kirov's gone down there. Most of the ships down there we've lost as well. The Graf Spray is asking for assistance at B because the Visby is gone. Our Akatsuki is quite a distance away, and we've got 2 destroyers up here that are having to play quite passively. Fortunately, the Eagle's also been hit by a torpedo, so that puts him on pretty low health. Finally, we've clawed one back. Nürnberg is gone, but just as we take that one out, the Eagle has gone to Hatsuhara torpedoes, so we're now down 4 ships to 1. We've been negative on 2 caps for the entire game. We've not really taken A, but we've prevented the enemy from capturing it. And at the moment our Graf Spray is moving into the centre cap to try and delay that or try and recapture it as much as possible and to give us as much time as possible. Me of course not paying attention, I've sailed straight into the map border. And I've decided now, looking at the situation, the only chance we've got to have an actual win out of this game with 470 points down, with 2 cap circles gone, is to try and now be aggressive and see what plays we can make. Graf Spray finishes off the kill in the middle, so well played to him. He is clawing some points back for our team and is at least denying the enemy team points from the B capture circle, which is the only reason that we aren't more severely down on points than we are. But as you can see, he's quite heavily outnumbered. He's up close to the Minikaze, and the Minikaze's got a reasonable amount of fire support coming in. There's also the ships between B and C that could be firing on him as well. So that's not a position he's going to be able to hold for too long. So I'm pushing up into A, trying to get a bit closer, trying to get some more reasonable shots in. Cruisers that are spotted far side of the island that seem to be unsure if they should pull out or not, so we're going to take some pop shots at them. And the Hood seems to be at least turning slightly to re-engage, but I'm going to push straight into this cap circle. I'm just going to take the risk that the Hatsuhara gets to torpedo me and get him out of the game, and now he's spotted. So here we go. HE's already loaded. Hatsuhara is moving forward, but he's not in the best position ever, so we've put some shots into the air for him. 2 hits, 1 incapacitations, but it's reset his cap progress, but he has taken some damage from that. He's spotted again, unable to hide in his smoke, and he's got an Akatsuki in front of him that's rushing into him, so I'm going to try and give this Akatsuki as much fire support as I can. Torpedoes, as you can see, that's where I've gone by. They were probably aimed at HMS Hood, so they've gone past me, so no concern there. Reasonable hit into the Hatsuharu, sorry. You can see a lot of fires coming in now, so he's definitely going to be taken out. And there he goes, picked up by the New Orleans in my platoon, finished off by that. So the New Orleans on the enemy team down to below 3,000 health, so he's pretty low. You can see the Königsberg further away is running, and fortunately for me, the Gneisenau on the enemy team is going to put himself behind the large island in ED7. So that means that he's going to be unable to fire at me for a little while as he goes past there. We can see the Orion now moving out to the open. Got AP going into the gun, so we're going to take reasonably long range shot at him. 13 kilometers is not too far for the Scharnhorst. She does have a 19.9 kilometer range with my current setup, so it's just beyond the halfway mark. Managed to capture A. Got 2 hits onto the Orion, and only one of them was effective, however. As you can see, the Gneisenau, or one of the 2 Gneisenau's, the one that's closer to me, has disappeared, so has the Königsberg. And there's the Minakaze, he's been spotted by Akatsuki. Caught out in a rather bad position out in open water, no real island cover. I can't engage, but most of the people on my team can, and the Minakaze is very quickly taken out. Also, the Vaqueline is spotted as well, also by Akatsuki, and the Vaqueline immediately opens fire, and of course that means that he is now detectable by anything within his main gun range as the Akatsuki smokes up, so he's going to remain spotted for quite some time. I'm going to keep pushing out and around this island. I've got to be aggressive. I'm top tier in a battleship with a game that's kind of coming pretty close now. We're down on points. Torpedoes that have come out, I believe, from the Minakaze. It could have been the Vaqueline as well, I'm not sure. I'm going to take one, thankfully. Managed to avoid the rest of them, so we've lost some health, but we haven't used any heal yet. We haven't got our damage control on cooldown, so that's no real concern. Some nice hits there into the Vaqueline as it was backing up with the 2 forward gun turrets. Königsberg is opening up on me, firing some HE at first into the side of my vessel. I'm going to pretty much just ignore him. I need to get rid of this destroyer because, of course, without Hydro, his torpedoes are the biggest threat to me at this moment in time. Never mind the Gneisenau or the Orion in the background, or even the Königsberg. Königsberg has now swapped to AP, and he's firing into my broadside, so he's going to get some reasonable damage from his guns, but even so, tier 5 weapons, not too bothered. Vaquelin's gone, even with AP loaded. 1 over penetration was enough to finish it off and secure that kill. There's Vaquelin's torpedoes, we've avoided those. Orion goes down, concentrated fire from the hood further to the south. So now we can turn our attention to this Königsberg, who is firing AP volleys into the side of my ship. Still yet to use a heal on the Scharnhorst, still got 5 of those available. Reasonably healthy still as well, still at just over 36,000 health, out of 56,000. Take a reasonable damage hit there, both from the combined firepower of the Gneisenau and a volley from the Königsberg. Königsberg loses 4,000 health to that shot from me. Going to keep my nose straight towards the Gneisenau, who's finally come into a position where he can start opening up on me again. Another volley out on the Königsberg, hoping to get a citadel so I can take him out in this shot and not have to fire another one. Fortunately, it's not to be the case. 5 over pens leaves him on 813 health, so I'm going to have to fire another shot at him. Gneisenau's full broadside into the front of my ship does very little to no damage whatsoever. First heal used of the game, just to keep myself at about 35,000 health, so not too high, but reasonable amount. Königsberg finally taken out. Put 1 shot into which AP pens, so that's taken him out of the game, and now I've got the Gneisenau to deal with. As you can see further south, the Akatsuki on the enemy team, the last destroyer, has been spotted out. He was caught by one of our Akatsukis, and both of them are now engaging him along with other vessels. So their Akatsuki is running north towards the capture circle and towards me, as my fight with the Gneisenau begins. I know he's got torpedoes, I have my own, so I'm going to get those away as he's turning out. I assumed he's turned out to fire torpedoes at me, so I'm going to begin slowing and turning into him to try and preemptively avoid those. There his torpedoes appear, so he has missed by a reasonable amount. I'm going to avoid all of those. Still got HE loaded, unfortunately. Would have been nice to have AP there, but we're going to put that all into his superstructure and get a nice 3k damage off. He's still sailing in a straight line, having turned out, so it looks like my torpedoes, as I guessed for his location, are going to be right on target, and they are. There's 30,000 of his hit points gone. He's on very low health now, and a very easy kill, and I can start worrying about pointing my front end of my ship towards this Akatsuki. There goes Gneisenau, taken out by the Akatsuki on our team and his torpedoes, and now I'm going to have to worry about the torpedoes from this Japanese destroyer very close to me. Going to preemptively fire my torpedoes. There's his first spread from the Akatsuki, I'm going to avoid those. There's the Akatsuki's second, and he's delayed his launch for the third, so this is going to mean he's going to get a very good hit on me. And there we go, that's what I saved my heal for. We're just going to survive that on 4,000 health. We're regaining health at this point, There was one flooding cause, but we managed to immediately damage control that, and the Akatsuki falls to the secondary battery of the Scharnhorst. By no means amazing compared to its tier 8 brethren, but certainly effective. And there we go, that's the Akatsuki taken out, leaving only the Gneisenau left. We've still got A captured. I'm trying to slow down as quickly as I can so I can reverse back into B to capture that for our team, because I'd still very much like to win this. We have a lot of ships left on our team that are on very low health, and it wouldn't take too many hits from those guns of the Gneisenau to take them out, especially both of our destroyers, and then we've got a Phoenix as well. And of course the Phoenix in tier 4 is not going to do too well to being shot by an Gneisenau. So coming close to this island, we're going to slow down behind it. Gneisenau shots do take out the Phoenix, so he's put some more points in his favour, and they are gaining more than we are because both of their caps are uncontested. Going to do my best to fire some HE over this island, although German HE, especially on the Scharnhorst, is rather anemic. The damage is certainly reasonable, but the fire starting chance is less than ideal, and really a fire is what I want in this situation. I'm on just over 11,000 health, and I don't feel like having to take hits from an Gneisenau consistently for the rest of what could potentially be a long drawn out game. So if we missed it during all of that, also picked up the Confederate along with my close quarter expert. So we've got a reasonable selection of medals. And a couple more hits of HE onto the Gneisenau. Still trying to pepper him with fire as he's retreating away. I hadn't seen him most of the game actually. I think he might have been down south most of the match, so I haven't seen him. But he's making really big steps away from both Akatsukis and our HUD at the moment. I'm trying to reverse into the capture circle. I've told my platoon mate in the New Orleans to come join me in the capture circle, and the Surrey is here as well. So we're going to deny points coming in from the B cap for the enemy team and try and take it for our own, so we can push the point value into our favour. Get some more shots out of high explosive. We're just going to get those over the island as the Gneisenau is trying to get into cover. 2 more hits of HE, and that earns us the high caliber reward for this game as well, having just gone over 104,000 damage. Overall, it's been a pretty reasonable game, but it's not over yet. We still have the Gneisenau to contend with, and if he's going to keep kiting away and shooting at low health vessels, this could still be a game that he might be able to pull back if he can finish us all off. I'm not on too much health. As you can see there, Akatsukis that are trading fire with him are on 159 health. Then Akatsuki on 400 hit points is taken out by the Gneisenau. So one of our Akatsukis now, the lower health of the two, the lower health one of the two that isn't still remaining. Currently in the C capture circle, taking that off the enemy team. He's got some island cover between himself and the Gneisenau, so the Gneisenau can't engage him. So now we've got to worry about him potentially having a trade of fire with either my friend in the New Orleans, who I know is on low health. He lost quite a few hit points earlier to the first Gneisenau, getting a broadside AP sitted on him. The HUD, I think he's on about 50,000 health, so the HUD is in better shape than I am. I'm not sure how many hit points the Surrey has got left. You can see fire coming in there from the HUD, so those two are exchanging at the moment. And of course, the moment I get detected, I'm going to be a far more tempting target for this Gneisenau. Got AP loaded, going to take a speculative shell at 12 kilometers. Damage isn't amazing, just over 3,500. And here's the return fire from the Gneisenau. He's firing AP. Thankfully, I'm bow in, so this isn't going to be too much of a concern. Fire is fairly ineffective, and the one hit he lands is into the superstructure, so the damage is not too severe, even on the amount of health that I have left. Of course, I still have a heal off cooldown, so that can be activated at any time. I have damage control off cooldown as well, so there is a potential that I could drag out my hit points a bit more and continue to have this Gneisenau focus fire down on me and potentially ignore the Akatsuki that's trying to close in for a torpedo run on him, and ignore the HUD further south as well. Rear guns of the Gneisenau are being fired away. I believe those being fired at the HUD, and then he turns around to give full broadside to me again. Another time I wish I had AP loaded, but we've got HE in. We're going to get that downrange towards him. You can see the torpedo launch there from the Akatsuki on the Gneisenau. More AP from the Gneisenau's forward turrets towards me, and all that thankfully misses, so no more lost hit points there. Still with the HE loaded, we're going to fire again into this Gneisenau. I think I was hoping for a fire, and now we've got within about 8 kilometers of him. We're going to put the AP in. AP shells from his rear turrets. One hit, again, pretty insignificant damage, only 1,000 hit points. But he is closing back in, so now I'm going to pop the heal, because now I know that he's going to get some pretty considerable hits. AP incoming from his forward turrets. Does get a hit there for just over 3.8k, but I'm still alive. And unfortunately, him trying to turn broadside to get all his guns to bear on target has meant that those torpedoes are on track for him. And that, I'm afraid, is fatal for the Gneisenau. So, there we are. Game over. That was a victory for me. First place on the team. Pretty nice results overall. And yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this gameplay with commentary over the top. I'd like to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.